Last night I had a strange dream that got me thinking. I found myself walking around the White House, and there was this sense of sadness lingering in the air. I followed it to the East Room, where a somber scene greeted me. There was a funeral procession underway with people mourning, and a soldier told me it's the president. Someone killed him. I asked the president. He replied, President Abraham Lincoln.
Over breakfast, Abraham Lincoln recounted this dream to his family, and roughly 6 weeks later, he was assassinated. In the early days of March 1865, John Wilkes Booth, a famous actor who was known for his charm and strong opinions, had a dangerous idea. He wanted to kill President Lincoln. He thought it would make a big impact and help the South win the war. So, as the war was coming to an end, Booth started planning. He was determined to make his mark on history, even if it meant doing something terrible. But he was not alone in his plot against President. Alongside his plan to assassinate Lincoln, Booth and his co-conspirators devised a series of other attacks intended to strike at the heart of the Union leadership. These additional schemes, 8 in total, were designed to take place simultaneously with Lincoln's assassination, aiming to plunge the nation into chaos and weaken the Union's resolve. Each of these planned attacks targeted high-ranking officials within the Union government, including Vice President Andrew Johnson, Secretary of State William H. Surratt, and General Ulysses S. Grant. The conspirators hoped that by eliminating multiple key figures in one fell swoop, they could deliver a devastating blow to the Union's leadership and turn the tide of the war in favor of the Confederacy. On the fateful evening of April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln's life was forever changed at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. John Parker was a police officer who was assigned to guard President Abraham Lincoln on the night of his assassination at Ford's Theater. But, Parker left his post to go to a nearby tavern, leaving the president unguarded. As Lincoln sat in his box, enjoying a performance of Our American Cousin, John Wilkes Booth, fueled by his simmering hatred and determination, made his move. With a single shot from his pistol, Booth struck down the president, mortally wounding him. Chaos erupted in the theater as Lincoln was rushed to a nearby house in a desperate bid to save his life. Some conspiracy theories suggest that Parker's absence may have been part of a larger plot to facilitate the assassination, allowing John Wilkes Booth to carry out his plan without interference. It added to the suspicion when John Parker was not even arrested and did not face significant consequences for leaving his post on the night of Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Meanwhile, Booth, accompanied by his accomplice David Herold, fled the scene, disappearing into the darkness of the night. Their flight took them across state lines into Maryland, as they sought to evade capture and escape the consequences of their heinous act. One significant factor that aided Booth's escape was the delay in closing the bridges and implementing checkpoints. Booth and Herold were able to pass through various barriers because the Union troops were initially unaware of the assassination and therefore failed to implement a thorough search immediately. Additionally, there were communication issues and confusion among the authorities regarding Booth's identity and whereabouts, further complicating the pursuit.
If you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who might enjoy it too. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
On April 15, 1865, at 7:22 a.m., the nation received the devastating news: President Abraham Lincoln had passed away. His life extinguished by the bullet of an assassin, Lincoln's death sent shockwaves across the country, plunging it into mourning and uncertainty. Meanwhile, John Wilkes Booth, the man responsible for Lincoln's assassination, was also dealing with the aftermath of his actions. Wounded during his escape from Ford's Theater, Booth sought medical attention to address his broken leg. On April 26, 1865, the intense manhunt for John Wilkes Booth and his accomplice David Herold finally came to an end. After days of evading capture, the fugitives were discovered hiding in a tobacco barn near Port Royal, Virginia. As the authorities closed in on their hiding place, Booth refused to surrender, determined to go down fighting. In the ensuing confrontation, a shootout erupted between Booth and the Union soldiers surrounding the barn. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Booth fiercely resisted capture. In the chaos of the firefight, Booth was shot, sustaining a mortal wound. His desperate bid for freedom had come to a bloody and tragic end. Meanwhile, David Herold, realizing the futility of further resistance, surrendered to the authorities without further incident. Boston Corbett, the Union soldier who shot John Wilkes Booth, was indeed arrested after the events surrounding Booth's capture. Corbett's arrest stemmed from his decision to shoot Booth without explicit orders to do so. There have been various speculations and theories regarding Boston Corbett's motivations for shooting John Wilkes Booth. Some believe that Corbett intentionally shot Booth to eliminate potential clues or connections to others involved in the assassination plot. Some viewed his actions as heroic and justified given the circumstances, while others criticized him for acting without proper authorization. Despite the mixed reactions, Corbett was eventually cleared of any wrongdoing by a military inquiry, and he was released from custody. On May 4, 1865, the nation bid a final farewell to President Abraham Lincoln as he was laid to rest. Following his tragic assassination and days of mourning, Lincoln's body was interred in a solemn ceremony in Oak Ridge Cemetery in Springfield, Illinois. Thousands of mourners gathered to pay their respects to the fallen leader, their grief palpable as they reflected on Lincoln's enduring legacy and the profound impact he had made on the nation. As Lincoln was laid to rest, his memory was honored with solemn tributes and heartfelt eulogies, serving as a testament to his remarkable life and leadership. On July 7, 1865, the grim chapter of justice unfolded as 4 conspirators in the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln met their fate at the gallows. Following a swift and highly publicized trial, Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, David Herold, and George Atzerodt were convicted of their roles in the conspiracy to murder the beloved leader of the nation. As the sun hung high in the sky, a somber crowd gathered to witness the execution, their emotions a mix of sorrow, anger, and a thirst for justice. With the solemn toll of the bell, the condemned were led to the scaffold, where they met their end with stoic resolve. It's been more than 150 years since President Lincoln's assassination, yet there are still numerous gaps and unanswered questions surrounding that fateful day. What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you believe it was solely Booth's doing, or was it part of a larger scheme for the future of the United States? Who do you think was truly behind it? Feel free to write a comment and share your insights here. Your perspective might contribute to unraveling this 150-year-old mystery.